Well, hello, I'm Joanna with Blissful Baby Sleep Coaching, and we have another success story with Johnny and Sarah. They have a baby boy that was 13 months old when they contacted me for some sleep support. So we're here to share their story. So thanks, you guys, for being here today.
I'm gonna be here.
All right. So my first question always is, what did sleep look like before you called me?
Um,
Not much of it.
Scary. Yeah, not much of it. Scary.
Yeah.
Dread the nights.
A lot of anxiety. We were up every 2 hours, and then it would sometimes take multiple hours to put our baby back down.
Mhm.
Um, and I think the biggest thing for me was that Johnny and I were at our wits' end, and we were having a really hard time staying on the same team. We didn't know what we were doing. And so every wake up is a new, like, well, do we go in? Do we do this? Do we rock? Do you do it? Do I do it? And we would argue. And
Yes.
so it was really heavily impacting our marriage in the way that we weren't sleeping and then we weren't agreeing and we just didn't feel like we were on the same page because we didn't know what to do. So we were really struggling.
Yeah. And how was that for you, Dad? Like in the middle of the night when you guys were having like 2 a.m. debates about who should do what, when, where? What was happening for you?
There, we had no roadmap. We weren't really sure what to be doing. Of course, you see stuff online, you hear stuff from friends. We're trying to put something together without any, really, you know, um, guidance. So yeah, it was taking a toll on being on the same page. And, when you're doing stuff new, it's all you want is to have a team member that you can work with.
Yeah.
Um, so that's where I think it was really difficult. Yeah.
Really hard. Yeah. So lots of like bedtime anxiety, like, oh my God, what is this night going to look like? With all these wakes up. And then, of course, every wake up becomes the debate.
Yeah.
We should do this and no, we should do that, or you try this, or that didn't work, and so I call that kind of the tit for tat like dilemma where you're trying to conquer the night together, but it doesn't feel like a together. It ends up feeling like someone's scoring points or something like that, and really with no progress, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
A couple of 2 a.m. pediatrician calls, a lot of Google, a
Oh yeah, a lot of Google. Yeah.
lot of Google at 4 a.m. Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah, and now people are starting to do like AI chats at 4 a.m., just getting
Oh, yeah.
really bad info. So, yeah. So, just like for you guys, just like a lot of misinformation coming at you and you trying things in bits and pieces and bits and spurts and nothing working because everything was just like disparate ideas coming randomly showing up at 2 a.m. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
totally. Okay, so what made you guys decide to ask for help? Like at what was the breaking point? I mean, it was 13 months. Like, had you been thinking about it a while? Like, where was that turning point where you needed help?
Well, we tried, can I say we tried taking
Yeah.
care of babies. It did work for some people that we know. And it was pretty much the worst experience of my life. Our son did not respond in the way that any of the documents said. We followed it religiously for nights. He cried. It was terrible.
I
I'm
know.
pregnant, so I'm sorry. But
It's
he
okay.
cried for hours. It was awful. And it just
Yeah.
didn't seem to teach him anything. And he didn't learn better sleep. And we were just struggling so much. And I also felt like we were maybe causing like harm to our kid. So I would have to leave the house while he would cry, and I would drive around listening to podcasts that said it was okay. It was
Right.
terrible.
Yeah.
And so we just decided like we needed a professional. We needed someone to help us that really knew what they were doing. And it
Mhm.
seemed like maybe our son wasn't gonna be able to succeed from this program. We just we were like at a complete loss.
I
And
know.
Joanna, you had insane glowing recommendations from other people that we knew who said, no, she is going to fix your kid. She is going to fix sleep. Like, you just call her. As soon as you meet her, you're going to be better. Like, she's going to make you feel so much better right away. And so
Oh,
we
I know.
instantly
It's
reached out.
so hard when you try a methodology and you try your very, very hardest to follow it and do it and think. And then when it's an epic fail, you think, I mean, I don't know, how'd you guys feel? Do you feel like you failed or your child failed? Johnny, how did you feel when you guys were trying to do that?
From just the stuff that you're seeing online and then going through a whole again, going through what worked for so many other families or potentially worked for some other families, uh, I felt like at a loss, and maybe there was no fixing what we had in front of us. So I was at a loss. We were
Yeah.
pretty down. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of felt like out of hope and kind of
Exactly.
thought like, oh gosh, our situation is so out of the norm that like there ain't no fixing this. And then you feel like you're just kind of left with the problem, which then leads to just like helplessness and, more confusion, right?
Completely. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, I'm really glad your friend told me or told you about me and said, hey, there is some hope on the horizon. And it is true that I end up with the clients that have tried and failed and tried and failed and tried and failed again. So it's not unusual for families to come to me saying, you're our last hope. I really want to believe that something could be different with you, but we are so scared and we are so like worried and scared that even you might not help. So I definitely respect that you guys shared that. And please know you're not the only ones that come to me saying this better work because I have tried and failed and I can't have I need it to work. Um, so on that note, what was it like to work with somebody one-on-one? And I should say that Johnny here was our premier coach. He took the lead on it all. So Johnny, why don't you tell your experience about what it was like, and then I'll let Mom chime in about what it was like to kind of have to give up some control.
You know, again, it kind of felt like this was almost like a lost cause. Um, and I wasn't necessarily sure getting into this what to expect. Again, there's other programs out there. You watch the videos, you can read the documents, and yeah, again, that might work for some people, but having that really one-on-one advice and like, sitting through and coming up with what we're going to do every night and the maybe like some of the nuances or and what's just specific to our son. All kids are different. um,
Mhm.
we know that by just starting off daycare. Everybody kind of shows up at their own pace.
Mm,
um, so yeah, just kind of being able to sit down and really walk through what we're going to do for this week, what we're going to do each night by night, and feeling like, okay, I know what to do. This is what I'm going to go in with this intentions, and this is the result hopefully we're going to, get. And also being able to talk to your partner about that, and make sure we're going in with the same idea and knowing that this is just part of the process and, work doing it together.
yeah. Definitely. Okay, and Sarah, what was it like for you to have dad be the coach?
Well, I've got to say, first, working with you one on one was complete relief. Even after
Mhm.
our first call, we didn't make any plans on what we were going to do as far as the sleep coaching goes, but just learning about sleep science and
Mhm.
like what this program is going to look like. Um, it just, you just feel this humongous weight off of your shoulders, and you can just look at each other and say, like, okay, we are going to hand this to her and she is going to carry it for us. It was
Mhm.
like such a relief.
I know.
Um,
I know.
and then we're on the same page at night. Him and I are a team again. We have a plan. And it was like not every single night we learned something new. Every single night it didn't always go the way we thought it was going to go, but we would look at each other and say, okay, I mean, we were awake anyways. So whatever, we're awake tonight. We're implementing this plan. And And then we're going to talk to Joanna about it tomorrow and we're going to come up with a new plan. And it
Yep.
was just one night at a time. And it
Yeah.
was so much less scary to feel like we're we're taking this one chunk of time and we're going to have help tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it's just made it so much more doable.
Yeah.
Um, Sending him in there by himself to do it was hard for me. We had some ground rules. I wasn't allowed to send any text messages. Um, and I pretty much just poured myself into logging everything that happened. And so ultimately now I tell my other friends, like, even that have new babies, they're just not ready for sleep training or anything. Try and have dad go in there, like it's just a new technique that I thought mom always had to come in and rescue. And it just
Mm.
completely liberated me from feeling
Oh,
like I am the only one that can do it. Now I feel this partnership with my husband who can go in there and he feels empowered to go and do something for our child. It's really special.
I was gonna say,
amazing.
you know, it kind of made I felt, a stronger relationship with my son being able to be like, okay, I am now the guy who's gonna go in and, you know, during the day, can be a mom show. But at night, I'm going in there. This is, I am what is soothing him. I am the one who is making, kind of fixing the problem, which is,
Mhm.
um, was a fun, I guess, a new fun thing to be able to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I should say that that it's so when I work with families, dad is totally involved. And dad is often the one doing the coaching. And most moms, when they first hear that, they're like, "What? You're gonna let that guy do this thing?" Right? And I say there's lots of reasons for it, which is for every family, there's different reasons why I might make that recommendation. Um, but in this particular situation with this mom and dad, is baby boy was so mommy preferenced that he was kind of boxing dad out of the parenting. And it got really hard on mom because mom had to be there for anything and everything. She's pregnant and she's just like, I got other things I got to be doing besides just being on duty 24/7. And Johnny was like, I really want to get involved with my first child because I got another baby coming and I really want to build that bond. And so, ironically, baby sleep coaching, when dad does baby sleep coaching, that actually builds the bond of trust. It seems like a complete, like, what's that called when it's like the opposite? Like you wouldn't expect that some hard thing you're doing is actually going to build this incredible bond. But dad, maybe you can talk about that, like how that's been the result for you.
I mean, I have to say, I mean, just such a strong relationship now with our son. And I do really think that it has to do a lot with being able to, you know, be the one who was involved all at night. So, yeah, I mean, we have our weekends together. We have just, some special moments where he now is looking for me for all types of comfort and that I am his, kind of go-to guy now. So, yeah, I think there was a new sense of trust between the both of us, and he, yeah, it's a relationship that I don't,
That didn't exist before,
exist
like
before.
not in the way it exists now.
Absolutely not.
Which is just again, like it seems like, oh, oxymoron, that's the word. Like it seems like an oxymoron that this hard thing, this sleep training thing actually can build a level of trust and love and you learn so much about your child that it's like you have this whole new perspective on parenting and there's this whole new level of trust between the parent and the child and then the relationship just blooms in an entirely different way, especially when your baby ends up being well rested and you end up being well rested. Now you've got like a whole nother type level of parenting opportunity because everybody's well rested, right? Okay, so what does sleep look like now, right? We worked together, we solved all the sleep issues. So like, tell us, what does that look like for you on a day-to-day basis?
Well, for example, I walked into our house just now at 11:50 And usually we'd read like a book or two and then go down for a nap. But we were meeting in 10 minutes. And so I said, "Oh, honey, no time for a book. I love you so much. Time to close your eyes." And I plopped him in his crib and he just went right to sleep. And I walked out and I didn't even think twice about it. I knew that I wouldn't even have to turn on the monitor. He'll be asleep in 10, 15 minutes all on his own, not a peep. And he smiles and he goes, "Bye bye." It's darling. Um,
Darling.
and bedtime is fabulous. We like it's no nighttime anxiety. We enjoy bedtime because we know we're gonna just snuggle, share some sweet moments, plop him down in his crib. He'll be wide awake, and then off to sleep he'll go on his own. And then we kind of take our evenings back. So now we hang out together and we're just gonna enjoy each other where we couldn't do that before. It was too stressful. Every nap, bedtime was just overwhelming. And so this is just an entirely different parenting experience.
What
We
time does he
always
go to bed now?
About 7:30.
Yeah. So you have a quiet house starting at 7:30.
Yeah. Sometimes, I mean, it depends on, we've learned a lot about him. Sometimes he goes to bed as early as 6:45.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's 7, sometimes it's 7:30. It just depends, but we've got
Always
it.
blowing those cues, kind of working with you,
Yeah.
understand, where, depending on how he looks and how he's acting,
Yeah.
what time he should be getting to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's
sometimes we've got our night starting at 7 o'clock. Um,
amazing. Yeah.
it's nice.
I always say, like, and you actually use the same words, like, we got our life back. Like, literally, we didn't even know. Like, we had a sense that we didn't have a life, but like now we actually have a life. Like, we can reliably put our baby to sleep, know that we have a quiet household all night long, and we can do things with each other. We can do things for ourselves. We can take care of business. We can have our life back to just manage our family life once when our baby's happily sleeping in the crib.
Not to mention, it really
Yeah.
takes the stress out of some of the other things you have going on in your life as well.
Yeah.
It's really hard to think and prep for the next day for maybe work or whatever the case may be when you are just dreading and fearful for the night. It's just another stress factor that puts a lot of strain on the family. So
It's so
being able
true.
to take that away and kind of be able to, you know, um, get ready for the next day is just something that's you can't take. I mean, it was the biggest thing for me,
Yeah, totally. Like to be able to, yeah, to like just
the control.
circle up, spend some time together, get organized, go to bed on time so that you can have a good day the next day instead of just always rushing and chasing,
The little
you
sleep that
know,
you get. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
chasing the sleep. Awesome.
And things have come up, right? Like our son has gone through regressions since we originally started sleep training or sleep coaching. And so those regressions beforehand were huge and scary. And now when a regression comes up, we understand what's happening. We know what's going to happen next, and we have tools to address it that don't break us. So
Yeah,
when sleep falls apart during those regressions, we have a plan, and we, even though we know we spend some time up in the night during those regressions, we are still on the same page and we're still on the same team, and we have a structure to it. So things don't just completely fall apart, and we can just, right when the regression ends, things are just fall right back into place and off to sleep he goes. So um
exactly.
that's
Yeah.
big.
So just to remind everyone, so we sleep trained their son when he was 13, and there are huge developmental leaps that happen through 20 months of age. And typically, each time there's a developmental or cognitive leap, there'll be some type of sleep change, like sleep regression. And one of the things we do when I work with families is I let them know all the different transitions that are coming up, so you know when they are, so you're on the lookout, and then we come up with a plan on how you manage it so that it doesn't cause the anxiety or you don't fall back into bad habits. So it's like you have this future plan. And I even like to take you all the way through age 6, right? So it's like, okay, so after those 20 months, now what happens at 24 months and 2.5 and 3 years and 4 years and 5 years, so that you're always just prepared for all the sleep transitions that happen so that you don't ever feel powerless again, right?
Yeah.
Because it's all what's so great about sleep science and behavioral science is it is a science, and we can lean back on those tenets to support us through our growth of our child. What do you think is possible now in your life that was not possible before? Like, what fun things are you guys doing that you never even dreamed of doing before sleep training?
uh, date nights, going on trips. That's
We started daycare. We were afraid of doing daycare because his sleep was so bad. His naps were impossible.
Mhm.
And now we send him to daycare. Our first day, we were a little bit nervous. And so I called like a psycho. And they were like, oh, he went right to sleep, slept for 2 hours on the floor with all the other kids. It was crazy. I couldn't believe it. Um,
Oh, God, it's so good.
that's something I didn't think I was ever gonna say. And I think just overall, we're like enjoying being parents.
Mhm.
Before, we loved him very much, but we were tortured. It
Yeah.
was really, really hard. Um, and so we're back. We're
Yeah,
having
you're
fun
back.
with
Yeah,
him.
you're having
Yeah.
fun. Yeah. And you're getting ready for the second baby. So,
Yeah, we're having
you-
another one. It went so well
yeah, we're having
now.
another one. It went so well. That's frequent. I often get the call like, "Oh my God, guess what? We got our master bedroom back and now our baby's
Yeah.
coming."
We were
And then
sleeping and so now I'm pregnant.
yeah, exactly. Well, because now your body can actually do the important work of that, so it's so awesome. Okay, so if you met a really tired parent that was also petrified of the word sleep training, what do you want them to know? Like, again, like you guys, like they tried and failed, and they're like, this thing, sleep training is a nightmare and it doesn't work, right? Like that was you guys. So what would you, now that were brave enough to ask for help, what would you like to tell somebody?
well, I mean, you're not alone. So no matter what you might be seeing in your circle or
Mm.
the stories that you're hearing, people are struggling, and whether they want to admit it or not, it's not something. It's new. It's a new process, and it can be uncomfortable to ask for help. But don't sleep on a sleep coach. You know,
That's great. I love that. I might use that as a tagline. Don't sleep on a sleep coach, get one.
get out there and I mean, it was yeah, yeah. Again, asking for help is never easy. You want to seem like you have everything in control and you guys are stellar parents, but problems arise, and that doesn't take anything away from, your parenting. Everybody needs some help. So, yeah.
Yeah, how about you, Sarah?
Um, well, now I'm a huge proponent for getting help. Ask an expert because I have friends, even one of my girlfriends, she's having a really hard time with feeding her baby, and they're just struggling so much. And she's constantly texting me. They're having a really hard time. And I told her, you know what? You should just call. She was telling me, I found someone, like she could come to our house. I could do this lady and hire her. And I'm like, you should hire her. You should definitely just call in someone who knows and help fix this so that feeding can be enjoyable and you can bond with your baby instead of sitting there crying every time. And that's what has happened to us with sleep, right? Instead of it being this horrible, stressful, anxiety provoking situation, now we're enjoying these moments before bed and before nap time, and we're getting good sleep, and we're really enjoying our child. And so I just think calling somebody who knows, you don't have to guess.
Hmm.
And the other thing is that this is not taking care of babies. This is not leaving your baby in the room
Right.
to cry. Every single step of the way, Joanna's been like, Mom, does this feel good to you? Does this feel right for you? This is our plan, but let's make sure this feels good for you and that you can carry this plan out. We want to be respectful of your bond, of your baby. And so none of this was just a blanket program. It was
Hmm.
all specific to our son's needs, and it was very science driven. And so this is not the sleep training and the crying that you have heard about online or that you read in these other programs. This is like highly tailored, and
Yes.
yeah, just get professional help from someone who knows, that's going to teach your child how to sleep instead of just like kind of just leaving them to be by themselves.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes. So I call my process like guilt-free, gentle sleep coaching.
Yeah.
Because what comes along with sleep when your child is having sleep struggles is kind of what Johnny mentioned, like lots of shame, lots of guilt, lots of compare and despair, like, oh my God, why is everyone else doing okay with sleep? when we're struggling over here, even though we're trying all these different methods and we're trying to be so good and so conscientious on it, why do we keep struggling? And I just want everyone to know that that the good news is sleep is a learned skill, so we can always create the optimal environment and circumstances for the sleep skills to come online. And that's where the one-on-one coaching and that customization that Sarah just mentioned, it's all in these little tiny micro steps based on your child, your family values, the child's temperament, the child's capabilities, the pace that the baby wants to move at. Like it is so collaborative between the parents and the baby and me. It's like literally a co-creation on every call is like, all right, here's what I think, you guys. I think he's showing us this capability, but if we did this next step, here's option one, option two, option three, and then we collaborate and we check in. And it's awesome because it's never a forcing. We're never forcing anybody. We're not forcing dad to do anything he doesn't want to do. We're not forcing mom. We're definitely not forcing the baby. And a parent is in the room the entire time. So there's no leaving alone, which was super important to Sarah. And Sarah was like, look, if I'm going to do something, I need to know every step and why. I need some science behind, I need some behavioral science or science behind why this thing that you're recommending is going to work. And I love those types of questions. And I don't mind when parents show up to me being skeptical after failed attempts. Like I said, I'm kind of the place where the failed attempts come. So I'm not intimidated by anybody's skepticism because you have tried and it hasn't worked. So why would me or my process be different? But it is different. And that's why I call it guilt-free gentle sleep coaching. So thanks you guys for trusting me and being such a huge advocate. Yeah, Johnny, you were telling me the other day what you're doing now as you move about with your friends. What are you saying here to everyone about me?
Oh,
Oh, she's a retainer. Is that what you're telling? 'Cause that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
exactly.
just you're saying like just call Joanna. Like, why are we talking about this? Why are we still talking about sleep? Just call her.
Oh,
Oh,
just
yeah.
kidding. You know, just go do
That
it.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I love it when dads that were maybe a little skeptical that anything could work or turn around and they're the ones that are like from the rooftop like call her. Don't ask me any questions about sleep. Call her. So, all right. Well, thanks you guys for sharing your story. It's really, really powerful for people to hear that there is hope and help to be had. Thank you.
Thanks, Joanna.